You're listening to Adesope Live, the Afrobeats Podcast.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to another edition of Adesope Live, the official Afrobeats Podcast, here at the Cloud Studios in Lagos, Nigeria. As always, this is the podcast where we break down the hottest topics in the culture, and sometimes I invite a superstar to join me in the building whilst we chop it up. It's always brought to you by the Energy God, just in case you didn't know. Drink the Energy God and get some energy, and besides, it's owned by a black man, an African man, to that effect. Ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate the support, subscriptions, likes, comments, and keep sharing it, because that's how we get our word out there. Joining me in the studio for the first time ever, even though I've had a relationship with this brother for years. This is one of the most talented brothers out of Africa, west side of Africa to be exact, represents the Cameroonian flag. Strong, a rapper, a singer, an artist, a creative, someone who is just so talented he could do anything. And in the studio today, he's also doubling as a male model. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for my brother, Stanley Enow! My brother. Listen, that's the energy. Hey, I appreciate you, bro. Thank you.
Conversation can start.
Listen, Stanley, first of all, you're looking great. Which nowadays is one thing that I believe as brothers we need to always share with our brothers, especially because of how hard life is, how hard creatives from Africa have to work, and taking your position as a Cameroonian pop star even harder, but you're still making it look like so seamless. How are you feeling and how are you doing, bro?
Oh man, I feel super humble because it's game season and it's also learning season. And coming from Cameroon, I'm super blessed because that's a central part of Africa.
Facts.
And I'm from the English-speaking side as well, so I'm just blessed existing, and I'm super happy that we connected for real.
Absolutely.
And for me, it's not just a connection, it's more of a bonding.
Facts.
Because I know what is about to happen. It's
Facts.
definitely going to be history. So, super humble and making sure that we appreciate life and God's time.
Big.
And,
Big. You talked about coming from the English-speaking side of Cameroon. A lot of us have heard about, sometimes the conflicts of the English-speaking side, the French-speaking side. As a Cameroonian, what is it like, being from two different speaking parts of the country? What exactly is it that, though everybody feels the need to talk about the fact that, when I mention an artist, he's from the English-speaking side. When I mention, no, that's a French-speaking, because it looks like even when it comes to successes of pop music, the French-speaking side and the English-speaking side, it's almost like they're making two completely different music.
You're not wrong. The thing is, when I think Cameroon, I think diversity. And being a pure product from Cameroon, I was really elevated, by people from both sides. And we want people. So in my music, you can hear French. In my music, you can hear English. I know we are going through an identity crisis right now, but you know what? Where politics fail, that's where music comes in. So we are out here trying to elevate as much as possible the culture to make sure that our people feel very, very inclusive to what we're doing. And like it or not, the world is in constant change. It's our time, yes, but the conversation has to be Pan-African, though we have to deal with our personal issues. But there is no me without you. Facts. You know what I mean? We're fighting for an Africa whereby someone like you, Sir Adesope, can come to Douala and feel more Cameroonian than myself.
Can't
and
wait.
Me coming to Lagos and feeling the same. So, end of it all is to try as much as possible to embody the people. As an African gentleman, now my mission is to carry the people along. You know what I mean? That's why one of the lines of one of my songs I'm going to be dropping these days is African gentlemen I take over. Waka for my people, yeah, protect time. Even if you miss it at the last hopper, I could jump from the plate like a grasshopper, right? Which means that as an African gentleman, you know what I mean, I'm taking over and I'm trying as much as possible to protect my people, the people, be it Francophone or Anglophone, be it Yoruba or, you know what I mean?
Facts.
And I protect them with my blood because that's my mission, you know what I mean, bringing the people together. And by the grace of God, I'm sure that we'll definitely get there.
Facts. You spoke about bringing people together. I know in the last 2 years, there also was the spike where there was a movement where some Cameroonians were not happy with the amount of Nigerian music being played in the country, on radio, at parties. And not only did they make it vocal on social media, they also made it vocal, on media platforms where they spoke out hugely against, the support. Before I bring you in on that, this is my take. Whatever country you're in, I don't care if Nigerian music is very popular in that country, be it Ghana, Cameroon, South Africa. Whatever country you are in, that country must get 80-90% of radio and club plays.
Yeah.
That's my take. And there must be legal documentation to support that too. Because the locals must be elevated, must be promoted, and must benefit from the pop culture that others from outside come and enjoy. So I say that to say this. With some of the Cameroonians that put their hands up, I agree that the locals must get a lot of love. And the regulatory bodies must do their job to ensure that the home-based musicians get more airplay, get more club support, get all of those things. However, your fight is not with your brothers and sisters from Nigeria. They've just made music that they hope that you love and you enjoy. And when they get the opportunity to come and perform in Douala or anywhere, they are coming with love to come and perform to their fans. At that point, they've even forgotten that they are Nigerians. They personally feel, I'm going to Cameroon to meet my own people. And that is what should be at the background of our minds when we're making these statements. But what was it like? What was your own thoughts about that movement? And what was it like for someone like you who enjoys so much love within the Nigerian community? Like, we love Stanley. Like, Stanley to us is Lagosian. You know what I mean? Like, we love Stanley here. What was it like for you during those times?
You know what? I would want to answer this by appreciating your take. And I love sitting with people that have wisdom. You already answered the question. And your take is really majestic on this one. I've been in Lagos for a while and I've heard a lot of Amapiano. I hear it for hours.
Yes.
And you could tell that there's a big sound out here,
Absolutely.
which means that Nigeria is very open to import.
Facts.
I think maybe it's just the way, it's just to create like strategic partnerships to import a sound and a movement. So I think maybe it had happened at the point where conversations were not really already made or had not been put in place to get those systems. Because at the end of the day right now, you spoke about policy as a mechanism. Like, no one is going to come to your own house and implement a law.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? It's not possible, except if you let that happen. So your people have to make that happen. So for me, the conversation right now is very Pan-African. I feel so Lagosian when I'm in Lagos.
Absolutely.
I feel so welcomed, and I think it should definitely be the same. Like you said on the however part, it's very important that every country should protect their interests because
Absolutely.
that's why Nigeria is Nigeria.
Yes.
That's why Cameroon is Cameroon. So at this point in time, we have gotten to that level where at the end of the day, too, you have to blend.
Yes.
Because some of us, with the number of years we've put in work, there is some things that we know that we have to learn from the giants.
Yeah.
And you have to learn.
Absolutely.
And I am doing it. So I think at this point in time is to try as much as possible to come in as a movement. Be you an artist from Cote d'Ivoire,
Yep.
be you an artist from Gabon or from the Congo. You know, it has to come in as a movement, as a wolf pack to make sure that, okay, yo, Ade, or Smade, or Abuchi, or, you know, Bio. What's happening? Let's come together and create, you know what I mean, a JV that can be like, okay, we cross,
The borders to get,
you know, or
we're
cross
sharing.
promote each other on, you know, on the beautiful,
Facts.
on the business framework. I think those kind of conversations are very open right now because it's music and it's business. So I appreciate my presence here, and I think you've really given perspective. I think one of the big problems that we have is learning to embrace each other with beauty. To be honest, after this podcast, I'll sit you on a one-on-one and tell you
Facts.
what I want
Facts.
and tell you what I think might be proper for the next steps.
Absolutely.
And you tell me what you think might be the next steps. For example,
Absolutely.
next year or this year, I don't know when this podcast
Absolutely.
drops. You know, I'm celebrating a decade. I won't mind you coming to Cameroon,
Facts.
hosting in front of that big crowd.
Facts.
And I will also be very, very proud to see one of the biggest MCs, you know what I mean?
Facts.
Energy people coming to
Facts.
Lagos and also hosting stuff. So, I mean,
Facts.
at the end of the day, we are on diplomatic duties, you know what I mean?
Absolute, my freaking ambassador.
You know,
If you don't
man.
get that, that's what I refer
Yeah.
to. Every
So-
African entertainer that's going into different
Yeah.
spots around the world
Yeah.
and promoting their music and their culture.
Yeah.
These are ambassadors of mine who are doing great jobs,
Yeah.
even better than government officials. I completely concur with you.
So, I just pray that as we go deeper and having Afrobeats, you know, in general, having already a trajectory. Because,
Yeah.
you know, this is going to be like my first time in 5 years that I'm back to Lagos.
Wow.
So-
you left it too long.
Yeah, I left
brother.
it long, you know what I mean? But I'm happy that I'm back at the time where the
Things
road
are
don't
happening.
clear, right? And once road don't clear, you know, you have to make sure that you come in with a lot of not only wisdom, humility, and a learning mindset, and probably strategy.
Absolutely.
You know, so that's the conversation right now. I feel so Nigerian in Nigeria.
Absolutely.
I'm blessed being Cameroonian, and I'm
Absolutely.
sure that by God's grace, we shall be elevated to the highest heights, and the time is now.
Definitely. Listen, you've dropped albums in the past. You've had hit records. You have toured the world. I've seen you in France. I've seen you in LA. You dropped a record this year. I think it was this year, wasn't it? Or was it last year? The one produced by Scott Storch.
Oh yeah, that was like a couple of months ago. Yeah.
You dropped a record this year that was produced by one of the most iconic producers in the history of music. This man created sounds that we lived on for generations, from Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Fat Joe, the list goes on. You found yourself in that arena in LA where some of the biggest cats are working.
Yeah.
And this young Cameroonian brother was able to make music with such a giant. Tell me, as best as you can, what that experience was like and what you took from that.
Man, that was once in a lifetime. Like, as I got to LA, I went there for an NFT project. Big shout out to Paul and all of my people from 4D Fun. You know, they invited me to shoot a concert, you know, to record a concert in the metaverse.
Yeah.
And it's about to be out. So, as we got there, the CEO, Paul, is in contact with this very interesting and beautiful human being called David Alki, who lives out of Malibu. So he was telling him that, okay, Stanley Enow.
I know David Alki.
Yeah, Stanley Enow is going to be in town, and this is his music. So he played in one of my classic songs called My Way, and he was like, oh my God, who's this guy? He says he wants to see me the next day. So Paul told me, like, yo, guess who you're meeting tomorrow? You're meeting David Alki. Google him. I'm like,
He's big.
yeah, that was
He's
crazy.
British, but he's based in the States.
No, he's Greek.
He's Greek, but raised in England.
He was born in Lagos.
Yes. Yeah,
He
he
was
was born in Lagos. Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So when I met him, I was like, he's like, he was like,
African.
Yeah. So we connected, and he's like, do you like Scott Storch? I'm like, what are you asking? Do I like
What
who?
question is that?
I want to understand.
Yeah.
Are you saying
What
touch?
question?
Are you saying touch? Oh, I'm not
What
hearing.
question is that?
So when he said, would you like to work with Scott Storch? I'm like, the guy who made Make It Rain. It's like, yes. He called Scott. What up, baby? We're coming to your house tomorrow. We got to record. Started sending stuff to Scott and all of that. And, he's very creative. So it was like, okay, I think you should do a song like this. Next day, got into the Rolls Royce, went to Tarzana, went to make the song. Once I got there, Scott Storch, super, super, super talented. And as I got there, he was listening to Ghanaian music.
God damn it. He was getting into the vibe.
Yeah, I was listening to Ghanaian music, and I was like, okay, I'm sure that he knows that a son of the soil is coming. And just the preparatory sound to welcome him was crazy. I was like, okay, culture.
I wanted to do it right.
Yeah, as I went there, we met Post Malone's manager. We met a couple of other cool people. We met his dog, Coco. And, he started smoking. Smoking. Very reserved. He started smoking. I ordered some food. We ate some pizza. I'm like, okay, what kind of sounds would you like? I'm like, I played him 2 sounds that I like the orientation of the album I'm doing right now. He's like, okay. He took the keyboard and started playing sounds because he produces, he plays the keys.
Yeah,
he does
he's
the
a piano
melodies.
guy.
And Illa was the producer who did Kill Shot for Eminem.
Yeah.
Did the drums.
Wow.
So we started creating and all of that, and we just made a hook. And it was like boom, ba ba di ba do, ba ba di ba do, ba ba di ba do. And if you know David Alki David, that guy.
Yeah, I know him, man.
He
vibes.
He started disturbing the whole
vibes.
place.
Yeah, his
so
vibes.
So he disturbed his own session that he created.
With excitement.
So I thought that Scott forgot the melody. Scott left. He went to smoke. Me and Mr. Africa, my guy. We're like, I hope that this guy's not going to forget that melody.
Did we record it on the phone?
Did we record it or how?
Yeah.
As he came back, he played the same thing.
These are legends,
And
man.
then, Usma Banga for you. Like, damn. Okay. He came twice as hard.
So he had gone to reset it in his mind.
Damn. So he said, okay, that's the bass. So I told him, okay, you should give me, a day. Let me go because he doesn't record vocals. Yeah. Let me go to some other studio to take vocals. I was just vibing on the hook. But when I came now with that hook, he started like, okay, I know where you're going to. Now he just chakarat the beat.
Added salt,
damn,
pepper, Maggi, everything.
And when we finished, it's like, let's make some more. At the beginning, he wasn't really, was very, very reserved.
Yeah, but once he had seen the talent.
Yes, he's like, let's make some more.
That's creative people. When they now see that, okay, you're about that life. Yeah. All right, let's connect.
So I really appreciate the experience, you know what I mean? And we hope that the best is still to come.
Absolutely.
And working with Scott Storch, coming from Cameroon, it's very, very heavy.
coming from anywhere.
Yeah, and I thank God. And, big shout out to all the other people sustaining the sound. The African Gentleman project that I'm working on right now. You have people like Kayode KO. You have people like DJ Pat. Working with other young creatives like DJ Carl, like Sango ED, for now, I'm on the learning process. I just take bunch of producers that are very talented, crazy, put them in the box, put them in the room, then we create sounds. Big shout out DJ Freddie Mooks. It's crazy. We just at the transition phase. And 10 years in music, I think, I'm just coming as a new kid, ready to learn and fly.
That's a level of humility. Listen, Stanley, I just wanted to chop it up with you briefly. I know, as you have promised me, you will come into London in 2023.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to that time when it will be the 10 years celebration.
Yeah.
Not only with music, with stage performances, with new levels being activated and new doors being opened.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much, man.
On 10 years of hard work.
Thank you.
And consistency.
Thank you.
Reliability.
Thank you.
And just being an ambassador of your people and your
you.
culture that you've been. Wherever you are Stanley Enow, the Cameroonian in that room.
Thank you.
And I think for me, that's very, very important to pat you on your back for that. Because a lot of times we shy away from who we are. But you've never done that. So, ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for my incredible superstar guest.
And
yes,
before we even go, I just want to also really appreciate you again, because the last time we met was in Paris.
Absolutely.
And that was 3 years ago.
Absolutely.
You came for the Runtown show.
Event. Yeah.
And the day I understood that Afrobeats took another turn is you living in the UK and coming to host a show in France in English.
Facts.
Without no French word.
And nobody felt the type of way.
Was understanding.
Facts. Thank you, brother.
African gentlemen at the takeover. Work out for my people, protect them. Even if you mean at the last supper. Jump from the plate like a grasshopper. Me, I must still get money for my hustle. If I no get enough, I go walk till I get Stanley Enow.
And on that, it is a wrap. Stanley Enow!